Hey, good morning, everybody. We've hit the midweek already, and it is time for yet another edition of 5 Minutes with Phil. And we are coasting right along in John chapter 21, and we're having this moment where Peter has made a decision that I'm drawing a parallel to with us as followers of Jesus Christ. And basically, in John chapter 20, verses 1 through 3, we get this moment where Peter has made the decision to begin, or actually go back and do something that he left behind in order to follow Jesus. And we've kind of made the parallels that could apply to our lives here today. I want to pick up where we left off, because yesterday we talked about how there's actually an influence that we have when we make those kinds of decisions. But the end of verse 3 is very telling. Let's start again in verse 1. Let's go to verse 3 again, and I want to show you what I mean. Look at the screen here. It says, "Afterward, Jesus appeared again to his disciples by the Sea of Galilee, and it happened this way. Simon Peter, Thomas, also known as Didymus, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, the two other disciples were together. 'I'm going out to fish,' Simon Peter told them, and they said, 'We'll go with you.'" Now listen to this. "So they went out and got into the boat. But that night they caught nothing." They caught nothing. Can I please remind you that there were 3 experienced fishermen on that boat? There were 3 guys that knew how to fish. And in case you didn't know, in Bible times, the preferred time of the day, actually the preferred time to fish was actually at night, not in the morning or during the day. And so here's Peter, James, John. Those are the sons of Zebedee, and about 4 other disciples. And they're in this boat, and they decide to go fishing. Peter has made the decision to go back and do the very thing he was doing before he followed Jesus. And we identified that could be a sin issue. That could be an addiction that we used to be involved in before we really followed Jesus. That could be a personality type that we had. Maybe we were an angry person, or a fearful person, or a judgmental or critical person. I mean, that list can go on. And sometimes those things rear their ugly head, and we decide to get on that boat and go back and be the person or do the things that we did before even meeting Jesus. But here's what you got to know. Here's what you've got to know. The end of verse 3 tells us that after Peter got into the boat and they fished and they fished and they fished all night, they caught nothing. Nothing. There will always be an emptiness when you make these kinds of decisions. If you find yourself going back to something that Jesus told you to leave behind, if you pick that up again, you might think you're going to experience happiness and joy and fulfillment. It's a lie. It's totally a lie. I have found that doing things God's way is the most fulfilling way to live my life. I've been around long enough now to see people that have tried to do things opposite of Jesus' intention for them, opposite of what God's word says and what God's will is. I've seen people do that, and they try so hard to justify it, like, oh, this is great, this is wonderful, but really deep in the inside, they've caught nothing. There's an emptiness. There is no satisfaction. There's no happiness there. And today, I want to ask you again, I want to beg you again, if any of those elements of your past your before Christ moment, lifestyle, conduct, attitudes, if any of those things are even halfway tempting to pop up in your head again, in your life again, and in your spirit again, you will not find fulfillment in that. I want to challenge you today, do things God's way. Do things God's way. All right, that's my thought for you. My time's up, so I got to let you go. Let's continue this tomorrow, okay? So God bless you. Have an awesome Wednesday, and we'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.